UFC 328 has ended, and oh my god, was it an absolute wild card. Very few times does the card actually live up to the hype. This is one of them. I can't believe my eyes. It's been absolutely fucking crazy from start to finish. So we're going to start out with the early prelim opener of Jose Ochoa versus Clayton Carpenter, and this was an Ochoa masterclass. Ochoa just beat the fuck out of Carpenter the entire fight. The only success Carpenter had was in round two, when he shot a takedown and was able to get around the back standing of Ochoa, and Ochoa just bumped him off and continued to beat his ass. The final striking numbers was 180 total strikes to 70, and 153 significant strikes to 68. Absolute fucking domination from Jose Ochoa, and he improves to 9-2. And we can start talking about these guys right outside the rankings at flyweight. Like Ochoa versus Jafel Filho sounds fucking crazy, and I'd love to see it. Next up, we have Basinger Sursakayev versus Jordan Santos. I picked Sursakayev. Sursakayev got it done by sub late round three. And it's been a typical Sursakayev fight. He looks kind of like shit in the first bit of the fight, and then he just locks in and gets a sub. Uh, Striking numbers were close, but he was clearly up and winning rounds one and two. I mean, you could argue Jordan Santos round one, but I wouldn't, because even though they landed roughly the same amount of strikes, Sursakayev landed the harder strikes. Sursakayev clearly won round two and was winning round three, but then decided, let me actually use my wrestling. Got a takedown immediately around the back, immediately around the neck. Gets an easy tap. He's now 3-0 in the UFC. And he's getting better. He looks significantly better in this fight versus Santos than he did against Eric Nolan or against Eric McConaughey. So the dude's looking great. I think it's time to get him some really good competition. I wouldn't mind seeing him versus the Iron Turtle next. Next up, we have Pat Sabatini versus William Gomez. Pat Sabatini wins by unanimous decision. It's just what I said. The dude controlled Chepe Mariscal for 3 fucking rounds straight. The moment he got his hands on William Gomez, Gomez could not break away. And even though Gomez was landing really good when they weren't clinched together, and the significant strike numbers are damn it even, Pat Sabatini would get like 4 minutes of control every round. So he easily wins this decision, winning every round. You could argue giving round two to William Gomez because he did throw like crazy, but 1 and 3 were so clearly for Pat Sabatini. You got to give him to Pat Sabatini. Was this the funnest fight? No. But did Pat Sabatini clearly win? Absolutely. Next up, we have Roman Kopylov versus Marco Tulio. I picked Kopylov. Kopylov got it done by decision. Roman Kopylov's a fucking idiot. He wins this fight by decision, but it didn't have to go to a decision. At the end of round two, Kopylov had Marco Tulio dead. So Marco Tulio is just winning this fight, clearly winning the first, cruising his way to a decision in round two, and last minute of round two, Kopylov whiffs a right hook, steps through with a straight left hand, lands directly on Tulio's chin because Tulio doesn't move his fucking head. It hurts Tulio bad. He's basically a punch away from being finished. Kopylov just starts grappling him. I don't know why. I mean, he just does. And Tulio can't, just gets a chance to recover and refresh. They go back to the stools. You're thinking, okay, that's a wild fumble from Kopylov. Round three starts. Kopylov hits him with the same combo, drops him again. I'm thinking, surely he finishes him now. He doesn't. Tulio is still in there. This time, Kopylov takes him down and gets in a really good position. But Tulio eventually works his way to the feet and starts swinging. And in the last 10 seconds, Tulio rocks Kopylov because Kopylov gasses himself out completely. And Tulio rocks Kopylov. But then the fight ended. And you have to give it to Roman Kopylov. Close competitive fight. Kopylov won, but it was Tulio's fight to lose, and Tulio absolutely lost that fight. Next up, entering the prelims, we have Jim Miller versus Jared Gordon. It was a lot more close and competitive on the feet than I thought it'd be. And the moment they started grappling, Jim Miller locked up that guillotine. It was the one thing I was scared about in the Gordon fight, because I thought Gordon is way better than Jim Miller everywhere. But Jim Miller has much more finishing ability, much more dynamic finishing ability, and that guillotine that Miller has is just so fucking good. He wraps it up, you're just done. And Miller gets the easy submission in round one, right after he was looking absolutely washed in his career. He somehow finds a way to come back and win easily. Next up, we have Grant Dawson versus Mateusz Rebecki. Mateusz Rebecki's a fucking idiot. I picked Mateusz Rebecki. Mateusz Rebecki loses by sub in round three. Round one was all Grant Dawson. Step in knees, head kicks, jabs. Yes, I know I'm talking about Grant Dawson. Grant Dawson was actually striking decently well. It was crazy. But in round two, Rebecki lands, I want to say a check hook. And Dawson fucking face plants. Rebecki fumbles the finish and just starts grappling with him, gasses himself out. Grant Dawson comes back, almost wins round two, and then round three starts, and Rebecki has like nothing left. He hits Grant Dawson with like a nasty uppercut and rocks him pretty bad, but he doesn't put him out. And Grant Dawson ends up getting a takedown. No, he doesn't. Rebecki rocks Grant Dawson in round three. Rebecki goes for a takedown while Dawson's rocked because he's a fucking meathead. And Grant Dawson is able to reverse the position, start dominating Rebecki on the ground, and then spends about a minute working on a choke and eventually gets it at the end of round three. It taps out Mateusz Rebecki. Absolutely insane fight. Much crazier and way more competitive than I thought it'd be. Grant Dawson's really fucking good, bro. Next up, we have Yaroslav Amosov versus Yoel Alvarez. I picked Amosov because Yoel Alvarez's takedown defense is atrocious, and Amosov is absolutely exactly who I thought he was. He goes out there, he starts striking at range with Alvarez. Alvarez lands a couple jabs, nothing crazy. Amosov wades his way in, gets around Alvarez's hips, and just takes him for a fucking ride. There was nothing Alvarez had for Amosov on the ground, except for a half-assed triangle attempt. Amosov's privy to it. Absolutely just held him down for the entirety of round one. And ended round one hunting for a submission. Couldn't get it. Goes to round two. And this is why I like Amosov compared to most other fucking fighters, especially grappling heavy fighters. He gets into a position where in round two, Alvarez is defending the takedown, where he's around Alvarez's hips, but he can't quite get Alvarez down. So he literally keeps one arm around Alvarez's hips and just starts punching Alvarez in his fucking nose. Winging shots, hard shots, right to Alvarez's face, and then backing on a takedown. I wish more grapplers did that. He was actually attempting to land damaging shots, and that was the difference. Like, he was actually trying to land damage on top of his insane grappling. And there was a moment where he lands a nice combination. I want to say it was jab to the face, cross to the body, head kick up top, lands it, nasty. Then he's back in on the hips. You rips Yoel Alvarez right off the fence. Literally drags him off the fence and slams him to the fucking ground. Gets on top of him, immediately starts hunting the submission. Eventually gets the submission. I forgot what he had, but he gets Yolo Alvarez in a really bad sub, and Yolo taps. I remember he slams him down, and then immediately just gets into an arm triangle. There's a one point in round two where Amosov almost had a arm triangle standing, and then when he got Alvarez to the ground, he immediately just locks up the arm triangle. Alvarez has nowhere to go, so he ends up tapping. Beautiful performance from Yaroslav Amosov. And man, I don't know what's next, man. Great performance from Yaroslav. And that leads us to the headliner of the prelims, Atiba Gautier versus Ozzy Diaz. There's nothing to say in this fight other than Ozzy Diaz survived to round two. It was a way more competitive fight than people expected, but like Gautier still landed like damn near 30 significant strikes to Ozzy Diaz's 8. So he just does what he does and knocks him out. This brings us to the main card. I almost swept the main card. I was so close to sweeping the main card. I fucked up the one of the fights, but let's start with the opener of the main card with Bobby Green. Bobby King Green versus Jeremy Stevens. Yo, Unk still got it. Bobby Green goes out there, is flowing, moving fast, in and out of the pocket. No care for Jeremy Stevens' power whatsoever. Steven lands a couple shots downstairs, but nothing crazy. Bobby Green is in his fucking face. Beating his ass. Beating his ass. And then decides, in the middle of a combination, just duck under for a takedown. Gets a takedown. Gets on top of Stevens. Stevens immediately starts working on a Kimura. Stevens can't get the Kimura. And then Bobby Green starts hunting for himself, ends up around his back and taps him out with a rear naked. I couldn't believe my fucking eyes. Bobby Green submitting people in 2026. He's evolved as a fighter, and now he's on a 3-fight win streak for the first time in forever. It's like he's still ranked level. It's ridiculous. And that brings us to the next fight between Sean Brady and Joaquin Buckley. I picked Joaquin Buckley. Sean Brady actually got it done. Absolute domination. Man, the first 10 seconds happen. Brady shoots a takedown. Joaquin Buckley has this brick wall takedown defense. Literally wasn't going anywhere. I was like, oh shit, Brady's gonna get fucked up. Brady shoots again. Buckley again. Brick wall takedown defense. Brady can't get shit. And then it was just downhill from there. Brady catches Joaquin Buckley's leg as he's throwing a knee to the body. Brady takes down Buckley. Buckley can't get back up. From that point on, he just can't get back up. Entirely of round one, that's Sean Brady. Landing damaging strikes while he's doing that. It was nasty. We get to round two. Same thing. Buckley's doing pretty okay on the feet. Brady's having to track him. Can't quite get him. Shoots a takedown. Buckley's actually defending pretty decently. Shoots a second takedown on top of that. In the middle of a combination Buckley's throwing, Brady gets him down. Is on top of him for like 3 minutes, but then Buckley bucks his way back up to his feet and starts throwing. He actually massively improved, genuinely evolved, but it just wasn't enough. Sean Brady wins in dominant fashion, getting 30-25, 30-25, 30-24 across the board. Insane fucking fight card. I'm at scorecard to ever see. Joaquin Buckley got dominated. But he didn't take much damage. Brady did as much damage as he could, but like the only difference between this fight and a normal Sean Brady fight was Sean Brady actually landed ground and pound. He never lands ground and pound. And that brings us to the feature fight of the main card between Alexander Volkov and Waldo Cortez Acosta. I don't care what these numbers are saying. Waldo didn't land anything till round three. I swear to you. Volkov wins this easy. I gave Volkov rounds 1 and 2, Waldo round 3. Fight starts. Volkov is just leg kicking the shit out of Cortez Acosta, body kicking, head kicking, and does this for basically the entire fight. Wobbles Acosta badly in round 2. I genuinely don't understand how Acosta survived that shit. He was completely dead on his feet. And you can see his leg completely straighten out from the beginning of the fight to like halfway through the second round. The leg kicks were really starting to get to him. Volkov landed like 40 of them, and then landed a few body kicks too. Costa was genuinely hobbling around at one point. Volkov absolutely destroyed Acosta for the first round. Genuinely, Waldo did not land a single strike. I don't know. It says he landed a bunch of strikes. He didn't land them shits. I'm watching him wade in with combinations and genuinely miss everything. With everything. But Volkov, easy round 1. Round 2. Shit starts getting interesting towards the end of the round. But there's a point where Volkov wobbles Costa bad. Costa is genuinely like trying to stick with it. He's wobbled all over the place. His hands are down by his waist. And Volkov puts his hands down and starts walking forward. I'm telling you, if he got the stoppage, it would have been one of the most aura-gaining moments I've ever fucking seen in my entire life. Volkov walking forward, hands down, pissed off. Oh my god, I couldn't even imagine that shit. Like, I might legitimately piss myself if I'm ever in that position. Volkov's like 6'8", 250 plus pounds, just walking forward, pissed off. Man, I couldn't even fucking believe it, man. He just walking forward, hands down, pissed off, while Costa is like dead on his feet. I was scared for Costa, bro. Like, genuinely, that's one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen in the sport. And then Costa keeps gritting down. He ends up just swinging, because he's like, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out swinging. Lands a lot of really nice shots in round 3 and wins round 3. Bust up Volkov's face, but Volkov clearly wins the fight. He's a clear number 1 contender. He should get the winner of Alex versus Tom. And if Tom isn't ready, he should fight Alex when Alex does beat Cyril Gane, because I'm not giving Cyril Gane a chance to win that shit. Next up in the co-main event, we have Joshua Van versus Tetsuro Taira. I fucking told you guys a while ago that Joshua Van is this next generation, and he's gonna be the one to do it. And y'all called me fucking crazy. First round starts. Round 1 is going on, and Tetsuro Taira gets Joshua Van down and has him mounted in the first minute. I'm thinking, oh fuck, I might have been wrong, but I gotta trust the process. I had to believe in my boy. Joshua Van just said, oh, I'm mounted, and no, I'm not, and just ignores it and works his way back up to the feet and starts swinging. Crazy shit. Tetsuro Taira gets wobbled, gets rocked up a little bit. Joshua Van starts hitting him with that jab. Taira's face turns red, like beet red. Couldn't believe it. Round 2 starts, and Joshua Van completely fucking takes over. Taira shooting on takedowns, can't get anything. Joshua Van is quite literally off of his own, off the power of his own self, just beating down Tetsuro Taira. Taira literally cannot do anything against Joshua Van, because Van is just that fucking good. He's landing all kinds of combinations, and at the end of round 2, drops him badly. Dog, I thought Taira was out. He got hit with a 1-2 and while he was throwing the kick and got paused and sat down. And Van just goes for him. Tries to get him, can't get him. We're thinking, oh my God, it can't get crazier than that, right? Round three starts. Van starts putting even more oomph on him. Starts whipping his ass even more. Uppercuts, left hooks, right hooks, overhands. The jab is so beautiful, educated. Is stopping him, wobbling him with the jab, drops him with the jab in round three. And then jumps around him, gets to his back, and starts hunting for a sub. He basically has a rear naked choke. Taylor can't do anything against the choke and almost taps. But the angle was a little off. Van couldn't finish it. So Van just goes back to putting combinations in his face. We're thinking, oh man, Taylor almost died 2 rounds straight. He's got nothing left in the gas tank, right? Taylor gets Van down again in round four, mounts him, locks him down, and he starts winning round four. Van does get back up to his feet and continue to swing, but Taylor did enough damage on top to warrant giving him round four. So we're heading into round five. It's 2-2. Joshua Van just locks the fuck in and starts walking down Taylor. Jabs, uppercuts, left hooks, right hands, overhands. Rocks up Taylor. Taylor's on the side of the cage. He's hurt. He's hurt bad. Joshua Van starts walking him down, landing combinations, and then the ref steps in the middle of the finish and ruins what could have been one of the most brutal finishes in a while. But I also get stopping the fight where he did. Like, the only reason I'm mad at the stoppage is because it's a championship fight. You gotta let him go on a little longer. But Taylor had nothing for Van. I don't mind it. It would have been over in like another 3 to 5 seconds any fucking way. But you know, championship fights should go on a little longer than your regular fights. If that was a prelim fight, I don't mind stopping it there. If that was a fight between two ranked contenders, I don't mind stopping it there. But if it was a title elimination fight or a championship fight, I think those fights need to go on a little longer just because of how much is at stake. We need to have finality to make sure like there's no way this person would have been able to come back at all. So Joshua Van gets it done and successfully defends his title. Calls out Pantoja for the rematch, and oh my God, it's probably going to be made for July or August. Fucking crazy. Joshua Van's the GOAT. And this brings us to the main event of Sean Strickland versus Khamzat Chimaev. I told you Strickland was going to get it done by decision. Since takedown defense is underrated as fuck, his defensive everything is underrated as fuck. I'm picking Sean Strickland. And Sean Strickland gets it done. Absolutely fucking melts Khamzat Chimaev with his jab and the pace and the pressure and wins a clear, albeit kind of controversial because there's a lot of Khamzat Chimaev fans, decision. Sean Strickland, clear as day, defeated Khamzat Chimaev. I've never seen Khamzat Chimaev's face look so bad. Sean Strickland beat that fucking ass. Absolutely insane to even say. Round one starts, Khamzat takes him down. Easy. But Strickland is working his way, tries to survive some really, really bad positions. Chimaev kind of had a couple rear naked chokes going for him, but they didn't count as real submission attempts because they weren't close enough. Because Strickland was just defending. And then round two starts. Strickland is putting jab, 2, 3, jab, just putting it on Khamzat Chimaev. Chimaev shoots a takedown. Strickland defends it. And then stands back up, gets to the center of the cage, and Chimaev literally just sinks to his back. Completely, like, gassed himself out in round one, just sinks to his back. And Strickland said, okay, I'll enter your guard. I don't fear you. And held down Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland held down Hamzat Chimaev for the entirety of round one. Like the whole round. Held him down. And then round two. That's round two. Round three, Sean Strickland just continues to piece up Chimaev. Chimaev starts moving forward, starts working off his jab. I said Chimaev is underrated on the feet, and his jab is fucking money, and is going to give Strickland problems. Chimaev was landing his jab pretty nicely, but round three, Sean Strickland landed like an extra 20, 30 significant strikes, just putting jabs in his face, really swelling up Chimaev's face badly. During round three, Strickland wins round three easy. Round four, Chimaev finally goes back to shooting takedowns, and Strickland starts defending him. Strickland tosses Hamzat Chimaev. I don't know why he wasn't giving any credit for any takedowns, because he definitely tossed Chimaev on his fucking head. And then Chimaev eventually does get him down and gets to dominant positions, but then Strickland just works his way back up. Like, I give it to Chimaev because Chimaev had like 2 minutes of control time. But I think there's a much greater argument for Sean Strickland winning round four than there is for Hamzat Chimaev winning round three. So a lot of people gave him round three. And then round five starts. Strickland survives the round, gets back to his feet, back to work off that jab. Beautiful jab, busts up Chimaev. And round five starts. And then Sean Strickland, quite literally, just jabs up Hamzat Chimaev. Just jabs up Chimaev. That's all he did. Jabs up Chimaev bad. Wobbles him, rocks him at a few points in this fight. Strickland wobbled him around two. Wobbled him bad in round five. Just putting the jab on his face. Putting the two behind it when Hamzat got over aggressive. I told you the counterpunching was going to be a problem and give Hamzat problems. Every time he got over aggressive, Strickland would have the perfect counterpunch right on his fucking shin, and Hamzat would actually just wobble. He genuinely wanted nothing to do with Sean Strickland in a sloppy fight, and was content to try to jab with him at range, and Strickland completely and totally out-jabbed him off the back foot, moving around. Hamzat couldn't land too clean. He did land a few clean shots. I'm pretty sure he broke Strickland's nose, but Strickland landed so much, so good. Sean Strickland easily beats Hamzat Chimaev 48-47, winning rounds 2, 3, and 5. Arguably won round 4. And he's the new middleweight champion. I told you guys he could get it done. No one believed in me. Everyone called me crazy. And here we are. Double underdog pick on the main and co-main. I did phenomenal on picks. There was 13 fights on this card. I only got 1, 2, 3 wrong. 10 for 3 on this card. I did phenomenally. Of course, it's when I don't put up money. I get the craziest underdog picks ever. It's fine. But if you guys like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Sean Strickland is the new middleweight champion, and Joshua Van has become a star to the point where he can headline he can headline cards. Like Pantoja Van 2 can headline a card by itself. This is fucking crazy. I'm so glad we're in this timeline, man. Don't forget to like and subscribe.